So here I'm going to show you a couple different ways to do some calf work in here. One of them is going to be a standing calf raise, not just how you normally might do it, just like this, but in between these two hip machines for now lives this little thingy. And what you want to do is kind of place this on the ground with the round side up. And then you should, if I do this right, be able to zoom in on this. So you can see I've got my whole body here. I kind of hold on to this for balance because the point of this is not to be trying to balance while you do the exercise. And then I'm going to zoom in on my feet down here so you can see that I have the ball of my big toe joint right at the apex of this curve, which means when I go up into a calf raise, that enables my big toe to clear the other side of this curve. What mostly happens when people do calf raises, if they're on the ground, is it kind of jams your big toe down into the ground, into what's called dorsiflexion of your big toe, which is not the best thing in the world. So if you just grab this thingy, square your feet up on these little pieces of grip tape, and then you slowly drive that ball of your big toe down into the ground, kind of yanking your heels up towards the back of your knee, and then slowly travel back down, maintaining a nice calf contraction all the way. What often happens is people will get down here and control it, and then when they get to the bottom, they'll just go, and kind of drop down. You want to nice and smoothly control that as the big toes travel over the apex of that curve and kind of roll off the other side. And then keeping your calves contracted, nice and slowly control it until your heels come down, if I've told you you're okay to go into that much range of motion. So again, driving straight down, pushing your big toes down towards the ground of the ball of your big toe joint, like you're trying to push this part of your big toe down through the little piece of PVC stuff here, and slowly yanking, you're using your Achilles tendon to yank the back of your heel up towards the back of your knee, and then slowly allowing those 2 points to separate as you come down to the starting position. So that's one way to do calf raises in here, and if you use this, I would kindly ask that when you're done, you place it back in between these machines for cleanliness purposes. Now, once you've gotten pretty strong doing those standing kind of both legs at the same time calf raises, what you don't want to do is go straight to doing single leg, because that is a 100% increase of resistance on the side you're doing single leg on. So what you can do is you can either start doing kind of using your own brain power. If you're doing the 2 feet on that little thingy over there, you just say, I'm gonna try to target my right leg a little more. I'm gonna push with like 70% of my right foot and still use my left foot to help up, but I'm really gonna try and burn out my right side, and then vice versa, kind of switch it around and do the other side. The other option is, if you're starting to do those standing calf raises, and you're like, man, this is really easy. I could do this all day because I'm getting so strong now. What you can do is you can come over to this leg press, and this just gives us some options because you can set the weight on this to different amounts to be more than your body weight. And then what you do is you kind of just get to a pretty straight leg position here. Then I'll zoom in here on my feet a little bit so you can see them. Then what you do is kind of similar to that exercise. You're just going to push away as if you're trying to drive the ball of your big toe through this plate as you do what looks like a calf raise. And then this gives you a little bit more room on the way down to let your heels sink beyond the plane of this plate. You don't necessarily want to go way down until you feel a stretch in your Achilles, but it does give you a chance to keep that calf contraction as you get further into a lengthened position of that muscle and then control your way out of it. So you don't necessarily want to just kind of bounce down here and bounce up. Actually, you definitely don't want to do that. You want to nice and smoothly and slowly push away. Now, what a lot of people will do on this, my calves are starting to get burny from doing that. What people will often do is they'll just kind of start pushing through their actual big toe instead of the ball of the big toe joint. So you want to make sure you're always applying all of your pressure through there. That's one of the things that's going to prevent us from jamming up that big toe too much. So slight knee bend, not all the way locked out, just for safety purposes, and then slowly climbing up like so. And that's another viable option for calf work if you've been doing the standing version on that little PVC, and again, you're getting to a point where you're doing like 50 of them and you're not really feeling much resistance. You can either start doing 70-30 pressure on one foot versus the other foot, or you can grab onto one of the machines for balance and then hold on to some sort of a dumbbell or a weight or something like that to make yourself heavier in effect, or you can come over here on this machine, which allows you to dial the weights up and down as needed in order for it to remain a challenge to you. So that's a couple different options for some calf work when you're in here.